Hello, and welcome to another FA2 video. Kind of special-ish one, as it's almost a game now. So let's go over what we've done. So, the map looks slightly different. It actually has borders now. The UI actually fits on a screen, which is nice. It no longer randomly changes shape as it feels. And actually, there's probably something I can show you here as well. So, we've added in a few other things. Previously, everything was on the map, was kind of predefined in location, whereas now we have the chance of an asteroid being spawned, and we can specify the amount of factions we want in the game. So actually I should have left that. So as you can see, when we play the game now, we've got a few asteroids here because there's a 2% chance of one spawning per grid space. If we crank that up to something silly, 20%, that's going to be a lot of asteroids probably. There we go. Yeah. That's going to be fun. Lots of other stuff as well. So that's probably about it for the map. It just looks a bit tidier, and no longer can asteroids flop off and do whatever they want from the map. And let's go over the rest of it then. So the asteroid itself has changed quite significantly as well. I had some comments, not on YouTube, but from two people who watch it, who said that they preferred the old kind of 3D big asteroid thing. This is my last chance to try and convince them that this way is better. As you can see, you've still got full rotation, zoom in, zoom out, although there's a max zoom out. If you're wondering why everything looks a bit funky, it's because this is actually a plane. So, you know, it needs to be curved and stuff to look right in the background, but for now, this will do, just in case we do end up going back to the full, this is a big asteroid, you can zoom out as much as you want. But anyway, we have our little starter building here, which I'm sure you've all seen before. And the first thing we've added is, I think I mentioned it last time, is construction states. So if you're wondering what this weird cubey thing is, it's because this was originally meant to be like scaffolding or something, but I couldn't find a good PNG. So at the moment it's just a big cube thing. When that goes, it means the building is completely constructed. The only thing with actual building states at the moment is the power generation station. Because I just haven't set the other ones up yet with individual components of the buildings. But as you can see, over time, you get the whole building, and now the scaffolding, which isn't really scaffolding, has gone. That's now fully functional. A few other things have changed. Let's just make sure everyone doesn't die on this asteroid. With some food, some water, that's about all they need. You can throw a mine on here as well. The launch pad. Now, this looks stupid again. The reason for that is it's no longer really just a launch pad, it's actually also the shipyard. So the more of these you have, the more ships you can build, obviously. And that actually will lead us on to the next one once they're finished building. We could probably speed those up actually, if we find them, or speed one of them up as well. They're almost finished, they've only got 8 seconds left anyway. Is construction queues. Now I said in the previous video that I wanted ships to be obviously buildable. Why is that doing that again? So I need to move this part a little bit up just so it doesn't collide with this. Sometimes it does it and sometimes it doesn't. Like, it looks really weird now because you can see kind of a building inside the launch pad. But anyway, that's not particularly important. So now you can add ships to a queue. You can't see the queue because I still haven't done any good UI stuff for it. But if we have a look through here somewhere, we need to find our actual asteroid. Oh, that's going to be a nightmare. Maybe I can find it from the launch pad itself. There we go, this should be our asteroid. You should be able to see we currently have a build queue of 17, 16 now because it's built. And we should be able to launch any ships we've built now. We've built 2. So they're going to launch up and then they're going to go off into their orbit pattern. There's 2 different orbit patterns. There's one for medium ships and one for large ships. Now, there is no construction queue for medium ships, although it's supported, just because I don't have a building that can build medium ships. But what we're talking about here at the moment is just a colony ship, obviously. So we should see the colony ship, because these are still here. I kind of use them for debugging, because they don't need a building or anything to be able to build. So there should be a scout ship here somewhere. Where is it hiding? Did I actually press it? I know it's here somewhere. This is going well, isn't it? Where are you? There it is. There's one of them anyway. There's probably two floating around here, so there they are. So the smaller ships, they orbit much closer to the asteroid. And then the larger ships are in a higher kind of plane. I'm probably going to do something else with the camera angles to make it a bit more obvious, because there might be another one above these for the really big ships. But in short, we've got our medium ships, our small ships. I don't think this is meant to be a colony ship. It's just a asset I had that is big, so I'm using it as a colony ship at the moment. Anyway, what else is new? So it's almost a game, kind of. So now we need to... this is a bit bugged where this doesn't come up unless you actually debug tool Scout. You'll notice that a Scout doesn't instantly fly from our asteroid now, because it is a item. Actually, we can see this. You see this shadow of one. I don't know if you can see that well enough in the video, but there was one Scout that was flying really fast away. Oh my god. I forgot we ramped up the asteroid numbers there a bit. But in the end, the ship has to actually have a leaving animation before it can go anywhere. It's probably going to be a bit more obvious with a colony ship. So we can send colony ships now to other asteroids, which obviously we could do before, but now they do actually exist as places where we can build separate things. So this one's going. So you can see it's speeding up to what will end up being its maximum combat speed, and that should leave and go and colonize here. So now we have a completely other asteroid that we can build on. It can die, it can have people, it can build its own ships. There's the colony ship that just got here. As we said, the scaffolding, a bit crap at the moment, because I need proper building states for this. The buildings do work in that, if they're not powered, they don't have people in them, and they aren't finished, they don't actually do anything, so that's in there now. So things are going pretty well, as it were, really. Stuff's mostly working. It's very much almost a game. Buildings are still free, which I need to change. It needs to be a financial implication to building stuff, because at the moment you could spam this entire asteroid space with whatever you wanted. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. It's very almost gamey. You do have the ability to go and do whatever you wanted everywhere. Asteroids still don't collide into each other, but they do collide into the border. Now, in the original game, if they went into the border, I'm pretty sure they just disappeared and were technically destroyed. But because this is such a small map, and you might end up losing some of your asteroids while I was testing, at the moment they just kind of stop at the border. But I can very easily implement either destruction or that they move to kind of another position. Maybe if they hit here, they should start going here and continue their journey. I'm not sure the best way to do that at the moment, but I'm sure we'll figure it out as we go along. So, yeah, as I said, all cool. Things have changed a bit from the launching speed. Obviously, it's set to really high. What it's doing is waiting for an animation to finish for the playing of the doors, but I don't have one, so it's permanently finished. There is still a maximum speed they can come out of. They can't just spam out of here as much as they want. So, yeah, things are going relatively well. There's still some bugs. Currently, the information screen only ever shows your first one. It's really easy to fix, but I'm not fixing it yet, because my next plan of things to fix is the UI. Now, I know I said at the start, obviously, I fixed the positioning of it, but I'm slightly better at it now, and I want to try and implement more of the look we'd be going for, and less of just kind of dodgy random buttons all over the place that do things like, why is the launch button here? There's also a function for auto launch, which I should turn on. It doesn't matter. But the idea of auto launch is as soon as the ship is built, it'll launch, just saving you some time. Because the original game, it just had so many really stupid bits about it. There was no build queue for overall the entire asteroid. You had to click on each individual building, and you could put up to a maximum of 6 in there. It was slow, it was painful, and basically just pointless. So we're not going to do the same as the original in there. But yeah, things are going pretty well. I'm quite happy with how they're going now. If people still really don't think that this is the answer. Like, my main problem with not having it like this is just, if you look at the size of this, and if this was an entire asteroid, they would spend so much time not actually anywhere near your base. It's kind of, there's no real benefit to having them being able to fly around the entire asteroid. So at the moment they just kind of go off to the edge here, and then they start either here again or over there and come back through, and then go into their little orbit patterns, which just fly over generally your base, but they can go anywhere. So what's next on the agenda? As I said, UI is a big one. I want to put building states in for everything, construction states in for everything even. I definitely need to add, when the UI is in there, this will make it a lot easier. Well, it's not really easier, it's just a bit pointless me adding construction costs to like building scouts and stuff, because like, where am I even going to put how much this scout costs? Where am I going to say that you don't have enough materials? Like, I need to have functional UI in here before like you'll even be able to see what I've done. So yep, UI definitely priority number 1 now, to make it look better and actually functional. Priority 2 is then, as I said, is going to be costs. So it's going to have resources for the construction costs, it's going to have construction costs for the ships, and then I think we might implement missiles. Now the reason we're implementing missiles first is because you're going to be able to missile your own bases, obviously, because you could in the original and it's funny. But in reality it's going to be just a test of the missiles where we can shoot our own asteroids. The AI doesn't do anything, there is no AI, it's just sitting there with its starter building, which eventually will stop producing anything and it'll die, and that faction will be destroyed. But yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Fuel, I think I've mentioned this before, does exist, but isn't really in there at the moment. Like, isn't everything always has infinite fuel? It has a maximum range it can go, but it does have infinite fuel, so I probably need to actually specify that like a ship has to go and refuel here, and to show the range when you press the colonize button, it shows the available ranges of colony ships around you. Anyway, lots of quality of life improvements, and it's not really a quality of life, it's just a necessity to be able to play the game properly. Yeah, anyway, it's a relatively short video for the amount of changes I've done. I was expecting to ramble on for a very long time. I think I've done enough rambling at the moment. Is there anything else I've missed? I feel like there's stuff I've missed because I've done loads of different bits, but I think I ended up spending a long time fixing some bugs here and there. One thing we are going to have to do, I'm slowly coming to terms with the fact that I don't like the building system, so we're going to replace that at some point. I don't think it really works properly. I mean, it works, it's just a bit stupid. So I'd like to have probably the same as the original with set building squares. I also need to make the buildings kind of change their position based on the terrain height. Like, this is kind of inside the terrain a bit, or I need to make the entire bottom of this flat, but that's boring. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video and are slightly more excited about the prospect of this becoming a game, because we are definitely actually getting there. There's some big pieces we've got left to do. Combat, obviously, AI. One thing I've done a lot of work on is actually some multiplayer stuff. There is no way to play multiplayer currently, but I've reworked some stuff that will work really well, would make it a lot easier to implement multiplayer. Like, even the things like what asteroids you can see are currently tied to factions, the buildings, and even the availability of stuff. So like, every faction doesn't have the same buildings, because obviously some of them have alien buildings. Like, that's actually in there now. I've really gone to town on making sure that this is going to be not super painful to make multiplayer. I know you're meant to like start from the ground up to, when making games, to make it multiplayer, but yeah, anyway, all cool. Hope you enjoyed the video. I think this still works. Yeah, stuff still moves. And I will see you all on the next one.